It's so good to be back in London, and I feel like the UFC will feel it too. To be back in London after what we just released here in
She's gonna carry you.
Yo, you're carrying me.
She's gonna
I'm carrying you.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Sam, I'd rather carry you. You're about 50 pounds lighter. As I say, sorry, I'm so fat.
No, you're good.
5 rounds in the bag there. My striking time doesn't feel there at the minute, to be honest. Last week my striking time felt good, and I've done 5 rounds with Luke, so it's just probably woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. Obviously I've got to get that striking time better if I'm fighting El Chirito. That's a lot what I'm going to work on, but my grappling always feels phenomenal. I just see in them rounds, lad, when I get people on the floor, they don't get up, lad, they smother people. Like Pimblett against DDP the weekend, once I get you down and I'm on top of you and I'm smothering them, you're not getting up, lad, I'm controlling you.
I think the UFC is waiting to see what happens with Islam and GD. Also, I think the UFC waiting to see what happens with Arman and Hooker. But I'm telling you this, Justin Gaethje never break his word. If he gets jumped by Paddy, he will retire. And he will never fight again in the UFC. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. But, you know, UFC is a business. Listen, Paddy Pimblett, I got nothing against the young man. He's great. He's entertaining. His last 3 opponents is 0-13. You know what I'm saying? How he be ahead in the ranking? Justin Gaethje ahead of him. Justin Gaethje give the UFC favorite after favorite after favorite. What Paddy Pimblett have done to the UFC to deserve a shot over Justin Gaethje? If it's pure entertainment, okay, give it to him. But if it's pure merit, it's Justin Gaethje.
Did they try to make the Paddy Pimblett fight? Did they propose it to you guys?
I don't think anybody got proposed to do anything. Listen, the only guy, if you get a title shot over Justin Gaethje, is Arman.
So, the buzz around a potential Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje showdown, man, it truly hasn't cooled down for even a second. In fact, it's just heating up. Now that Paddy's reportedly deep in the grind, pushing himself to his absolute limit, the spotlight on him is burning even brighter. Everywhere you look, clips of his intense training are flying around the internet, and analysts are firing off takes from every single angle you can imagine. Suddenly, what might have once seemed like a long shot, this interim title matchup, feels a whole lot less like a distant dream and a lot more like a storm that's actively building in real time. Experts are fiercely split on who truly has the edge. Fans are debating every single detail with undeniable passion, and honestly, the only thing everyone truly agrees on is this: something absolutely unpredictable, genuinely wild, is brewing in the lightweight division. So, buckle up, because let's completely break down exactly what's going on.
I wish it was Oliver fighting with Gaethje or someone different, but not Paddy.
Michael Bisping, never one to shy away from a bold statement, quickly chimed in on this captivating matchup, offering his unique perspective. He made sure to remind everyone that while Paddy might have once earned the nickname Paddy the Fatty, there is absolutely nothing soft or out of shape about him right now. Bisping emphatically states that Paddy looks to be in the best physical condition of his entire career, a transformation that was evident even before this fight was officially booked. And let's be real, an interim belt wouldn't just be a shiny accessory, it would undeniably put him right at the absolute pinnacle of the division. For Justin Gaethje, Bisping sees this fight as potentially his last big, monumental swing for greatness. With 2 title shots already behind him, this could very well be his one final desperate run at glory, with Paddy unexpectedly standing squarely in his path as a formidable and surprising obstacle.
Calling Paddy the Fatty, right? Where he isn't fat right now, the man looked to be in the best shape of his life. And he didn't even have a fight announced, okay? Obviously, he knows he's fighting in about 6 weeks, 6 or 7 weeks, whatever it is. So the man's ready, right? And he could be an interim champion of the world. Now, we know an interim champion basically means the #1 contender. But if Paddy can pull it off, unbelievable. That'll be 4 champs, 2 interims and 2 legit, well, 3 legit now with Tom being promoted from the UK that have become champions. And for Justin Gaethje, this is the final go. This is the final crack of the whip. The man's had 2 title fights in the past, Charles Oliveira to Khabib Nurmagomedov.
But Bisping didn't stop there. He really dug into the tactical breakdown of the matchup itself, noting a crucial difference for Gaethje this time around. He pointed out that Justin isn't facing an absolute monster like Khabib Nurmagomedov or Islam Makhachev, who are widely considered two of the toughest, most uncrackable puzzles in UFC history. On paper, this is a much more manageable stylistic look for him, a fight where he might have more avenues to victory. But here's the million-dollar question, according to Bisping. Can Paddy Pimblett truly mix things up? We're talking about more than just striking here. Can he successfully drag Justin to the mat, exploit his wrestling, and control the pace? Can he stay light on his feet, using movement and elusive footwork to avoid Gaethje's undeniable power? Or can he implement a Max Holloway-esque game plan, constantly moving, constantly feinting, without getting inevitably caught in the fire? Because let's be brutally honest, trading bombs, going toe-to-toe in a pure slugfest with Gaethje is a fast and direct route to disaster for almost anyone. Yet, despite that, counting Paddy out completely is just as risky, if not more so. That's precisely why Bisping labels it what it is. A truly wild, incredibly compelling fight where literally anything can flip and change in a single heartbeat.
It's Paddy Pimblett. Now, talking about the matchup, of course, it is an easier fight for Justin than what it is against Khabib Nurmagomedov, one of the greatest of all time. Islam Makhachev, the current pound for pound, and according to many people, a man that is surpassing Khabib Nurmagomedov, right? So in that regard, it is an easier matchup. Will Paddy be able to take him down? Will he dance around the octagon? Yes, he will. Will he try and replicate the game plan of Max Holloway? Of course he will. Who wouldn't try and do that? You aren't going to stand and go toe-to-toe with Justin Gaethje because the man does have knockout power. But underestimate Paddy at your peril. That's all I'll say about that one. But
on the flip side, we have Arman Tsarukyan, and let me tell you, he absolutely did not hold back with his assessment. He was completely upfront, stating that he just sincerely hopes Justin Gaethje stays laser-focused for this bout, because in Arman's candid opinion, this might very well be the last significant window of opportunity in Justin's illustrious career. In Arman's mind, Justin has been knocking at the door of a world title so many times with so many heartbreaking moments, and this interim run could finally set him up for that one ultimate final shot at the real, undisputed belt before he ultimately decides to retire. He even went as far as to generously offer to fly out and personally help Gaethje with his training camp, showcasing his unwavering commitment. As for Paddy Pimblett, well, Arman made it abundantly clear he's not exactly a fan, likening Paddy to the type of fighter who consistently receives what he perceives as incredibly favorable treatment from the promotion. For Arman, a Gaethje win isn't just an ideal outcome. It's the result he is actively, unequivocally rooting for with all his heart.
I hope Justin Gaethje not gonna drink, body, gonna train, dedicate himself, be focused. It's his last chance in this life. He's fighting like, he was fighting for the title maybe 5 times. So this is his chance, and the end of his career, win the interim title, fight for the real title, and then retire. That's the best for him. And I'm gonna, Justin, if you need the help, let me know. I'll fly to you and help you.
Really?
I mean, I want him to win, you know. That bullshit guy, I hate him. He's such a, just I don't know how to explain. You know, when you're amateur fighter, you can buy judges, you know. You can buy judges with amateur fight. And when like poor guy is fighting with a rich kid who someone paid for the judges, and he winning always. It's happened in the amateur sport. If you know, I don't know, about amateur sport like a wrestling or boxing.
And he was genuinely upfront about his personal feelings, letting everyone know he genuinely dislikes Paddy Pimblett. In Arman's eyes, Paddy's entire title shot feels less like something earned through sheer merit and more like a carefully crafted product of hype, massive social media followers, or shrewd marketing strategies. He even went on to say that he would have vastly preferred someone else stepping into that interim title opportunity, perhaps a fighter like Charles Oliveira, a true former champion. When it comes to the actual fight itself, Arman sees a classic, undeniable clash of styles unfolding inside the octagon. He fully expects Gaethje to primarily rely on his devastating striking, unleashing a barrage of powerful punches and kicks, while Paddy, true to his roots, will undoubtedly try to wrestle and take the fight to the ground. If Justin can effectively control the grappling exchanges and manage to stay perfectly composed under pressure, Arman confidently predicts that he will ultimately edge out a hard-fought decision victory. It's the quintessential striker versus wrestler scenario, and Arman is unequivocally betting on experience and meticulous preparation to make the pivotal difference in the outcome.
It's the same. He has like a followers or whatever, or his country is big, or I don't know, you see likes him so much, or he's selling, or what he's doing, I don't know. So he got his title fight because of that.
Yeah, and you hold that against him, like not against like the system and the, you know, the way that the game works. Like there's a saying that like don't hate the player, hate the game, but you hold it personally against Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah, I hate just Paddy. I hate Paddy.
Yeah.
I wish it was Oliveira fighting with Gaethje or someone different, but not Paddy. I hate that guy.
If Justin, like you said, and I'm sure he will take it very seriously, and he will come in shape. I know he's a little older, obviously 37 years old, but like stylistically, how do you see the fight going?
I mean, Justin, sometimes he fights so good, sometimes so bad. Hopefully, he's gonna overstrike him on the feet, with his boxing and kicks, and then Paddy gonna try to wrestle him, and he's gonna defend his wrestling and win by decision. Gaethje.
And right on the heels of Arman's incredibly fiery and passionate take, Michael Chiesa weighed in, offering a crucial perspective on the bigger picture stakes involved in this fight. He firmly believes that whoever emerges victorious, whoever survives the absolute chaos of Paddy versus Gaethje, won't be sitting on that interim belt for very long at all. In his expert opinion, there's simply no chance whatsoever of an interim title defense. Instead, the winner of this explosive matchup will be immediately launched straight into an epic showdown with the reigning featherweight champion, Ilia Topuria. Chiesa actually likes the clarity that this scenario finally brings to the always stacked lightweight division, even if it does unfortunately leave a deserving contender like Arman Tsarukyan out in the cold for the moment. But with absolutely all of that hanging in the balance, he says this matchup isn't just going to be fun, it's a fight that possesses the undeniable power to flip the entire division on its head.
Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje fighting for the interim title. Whoever wins that fight will move on to fight Ilia, and I don't think that there will be a title defense for the interim title. If I was to bet, there will be no title defense of the interim title. I think that the next fight for whoever wins between Paddy and Justin, I think their next fight will be Ilia Topuria. So I do not think they will defend the interim title. So good movement and clarity at 155 pounds. I feel for Arman Tsarukyan, but this fight's going to be incredible.
However, Aljamain Sterling, ever the keen observer, took a moment to truly highlight Arman Tsarukyan's incredible journey and his undeniable resilience in the face of adversity. He gently reminded fans that Arman was in fact originally set to face the formidable Islam Makhachev, but unfortunately had to pull out of that high-profile bout due to a debilitating injury, which, as Sterling noted, brought some unfair criticism from the UFC brass. Sterling then made a crucial point, highlighting how Arman more than made up for that setback by bravely stepping in as a backup fighter, committing to a grueling weight cut, and staying absolutely ready even without a guaranteed fight on the card. This selfless act, Sterling argues, emphatically showed that he is a true team player, all while still defending his hard-earned #1 contender spot by delivering a dominant finish over Dan Hooker. Sterling firmly believes that if Arman had actually been offered a shot at this interim title against either Paddy Pimblett or Justin Gaethje, he would have accepted it in an absolute heartbeat without a moment's hesitation. This entire situation, he concludes, truly sets up a clear and exciting path toward Ilia Topuria for whoever ultimately emerges as the next challenger for that #1 contender spot.
Contender, Arman Tsarukyan. He was supposed to fight Islam Makhachev, got hurt, and understandably pulled out and had some repercussions from the UFC brass, which I understand. But the guy made up for it. Weighed in as a backup fighter, which sucks. Yeah, they pay you, but it sucks. You have to cut weight, not even knowing if you're going to actually fight. So he did that. Backup fighter. doesn't get the call, but may wait, show the UFC that he's a company guy. He's going to do what he can to make things right. Then he goes on and he fights again, defends his number one spot, beats Dan Hooker, and gets a finish. Then, I want to say, a week later, almost a week later, I'm sure if he had the opportunity to fight for the interim title between Paddy Pimblett or Justin Gaethje, he would have done it. Unless we're all completely mistaken and he said, no, I only want to fight for the title, or that's it. And that's against.
Sterling also offered a crucial perspective on the interim title itself, making it clear that behind the scenes, away from the casual fans' gaze, it carries the exact same perks and recognition as the official, undisputed championship belt. He stressed that it's mostly fan perception, the narrative crafted by the audience that often differs. To illustrate his point, he drew a compelling comparison to when Henry Cejudo became a legitimate champion while the dominant Dominic Cruz was sidelined with injuries, showcasing that interim champions can, in fact, be incredibly legitimate and deserving title holders. Sterling truly believes that Arman would have eagerly jumped at the opportunity for this fight, especially after just securing such a definitive finish against Dan Hooker without taking much significant damage, unequivocally proving he's ready to step up, despite the notoriously unpredictable timing of these high-stakes matchups in the UFC.
Because if you fans don't know, fighting for an interim title is treated the same as an official title. Maybe not to the public, the media, the masses, who don't actually understand what it does on the back end for your contract, but you get the same perks and accolades as the actual champion. So there's no discrepancy between the two for me. It's just the fan perspective of, did you beat the best guy to become the actual champ? And sometimes that champ injury defaults out. I guess case in point would be the situation where Renan Barao became the official champ when Dominic Cruz was out for about three and a half years with his injuries. So just to put in perspective, I think Arman would have taken the fight. That's just what I would think. It's not too bad of a turnaround. And on top of that, he just won, got a finish, didn't take a lot of damage. I don't know how hard the training camp was, but didn't take a lot of damage. It just...
Meanwhile, Sean O'Malley, another voice keenly attuned to the pulse of the fight game, admits that he's leaning ever so slightly toward Paddy Pimblett in this particular matchup. He does make a crucial observation, noting that Paddy has, on occasion, shown a tendency to get caught with left hooks, a detail that could obviously be significant in a striking battle with a titan like Gaethje. But despite that potential vulnerability, O'Malley emphasizes that overall Paddy looks incredibly sharp, especially after his truly standout performance against Michael Chandler, which showcased his evolving skills. Sean points out that Paddy actually possesses multiple distinct ways to win this fight. He's incredibly tough, remarkably elusive, and genuinely dangerous on his feet, capable of unexpected power shots. He even goes as far as to remind fans of Paddy's absolutely devastating head kick knockout over Dustin Poirier, a brutal finish that happened just before his fight with Max Holloway, powerfully highlighting the kind of truly fight-ending power he brings into the octagon, particularly with those unexpected head kicks.
No, dude, I'm kind of leaning towards Paddy. But the way he does get hit with left hooks, he looks so good against Michael Chandler. Paddy's got a lot of ways to win.
He's a scouser.
He's a scouser. Scousers don't get knocked out, you mushroom.
He KO'd.
So, O'Malley mentions he KO'd Dustin with a head kick too, right before that fight. Following O'Malley's detailed breakdown on Paddy's skills, Josh Thompson then expertly shifted the focus to Arman Tsarukyan, questioning precisely where this unexpected development leaves Arman, especially after his absolutely dominant and impressive win over Dan Hooker. Thompson highlighted how Arman relentlessly hunted for a submission or a knockout for the entire fight, making it look almost effortless, which is precisely why he's become such an exciting fighter to watch. He pointed out the stark irony that the Hooker fight was explicitly meant to decide the number one contender, yet now, the Pimblett versus Gaethje interim title bout guarantees the winner that very same coveted spot, leaving Arman on the outside looking in, despite his flawless performance. On another note, Brendan Schaub weighed in on how the UFC 34 card in Vegas ultimately shaped up. He insists that the original plan was actually a Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria fight, But when Topuria announced a layoff for personal reasons, the UFC quickly pivoted and brought in the fan favorite Justin Gaethje. Shab, while understanding the deep frustration fans feel for Arman Tsarukyan, who is still technically the #1 contender, says that this doesn't diminish the incredible quality of what's actually on the card. He calls Pimblett versus Gaethje a truly must-watch, high-energy clash, a straight-up banger that promises fireworks. The controversy, he notes, mostly stems from the interim title angle and the undeniable fact that Arman is being sidelined, even though the winner of this fight will move directly toward that massive title shot.
Gaethje, Paddy, Pimblett. Some of you could give me slack because I guaranteed you're going to get Ilia Topuria, Paddy Pimblett. I know for a fact, 1,000% that was their plan. I know for a fucking fact that was their plan. And then Ilia Topuria came out and said he's taking a layoff, dealing with some personal issues. So he'll fight on the White House card. That's how that's going to go down. I know for 1,000%, 100,000% fact, sources locked in, suck my head, that it was going to be Paddy Pimblett, Ilia Topuria. Topuria pulls out. The UFC's like, oh shit, we got to do something for Paramount. And they called up Justin Gaethje. As a fight, it's take away your anger and how you think Arman Tsarukyan's getting fucked right now, which we'll get into. Take away all that hate for the card. Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett is a fantastic, entertaining fight. For what it is a fucking banger. It's a great fight. The hardcores are upset because like, well, hold on. And this for interim. I don't think they should have done interim belt. That's where I think people are upset. But because now the winner of this has to fight Ilia, which we can get to that. But people are going to be upset that Arman's not getting the shot and he's ranked #1.
Building on that, Luke Thomas takes a critical step back to look at the even bigger picture. And this is where things get really fascinating. He absolutely understands why the UFC is pushing so hard to hype Paddy against a fighter like Justin Gaethje, a man who is undeniably seasoned, incredibly dangerous, and a proven roarer. He also gets why an interim title works perfectly to generate that crucial pay-per-view buzz, while Ilia Topuria is unfortunately on hiatus. Yet, at the exact same time, Thomas simply cannot overlook what has become the main burning frustration for so many fans and analysts. Arman Tsarukyan. He is the fighter who has unequivocally earned this opportunity through sheer performance, yet he's left waiting, sidelined, as the entire division gets unexpectedly reshuffled around him. With Ilia out for several months, this whole situation feels messy, it feels inherently unfair, and honestly, it's downright confusing for anyone trying to follow the logical progression of the lightweight division. So now it's your turn to weigh in. The fan, who do you think will ultimately walk away with the win in this highly anticipated clash? Do you truly believe this fight is justified at this moment, given the circumstances? Or do you side with those passionate voices saying that Arman Tsarukyan absolutely deserved the spot instead? Share all your thoughts, your wildest predictions, and your reasoning down in the comments below. And please, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our latest updates, in-depth analysis, and cutting-edge breakdowns from the thrilling world of MMA.